Are you an entrepreneur, a startup, or a growing small business?
You already know that finding the right workspace shouldn't mean settling for a noisy, cookie-cutter co-working space where you're just another number.
Your business deserves better. That's exactly why eSpaces is redefining co-working.
They aren't just another shared desk in a chaotic room. They are your premier professional office solution.
Whether you're a solo entrepreneur or a team of 20, eSpaces is dedicated to helping you find the perfect environment for your business to thrive.
eSpaces is proudly locally owned and operated. When it comes to your livelihood, putting your trust in the right company matters.
Choosing eSpaces is more than just securing an office. It's a genuine investment in your local community.
Elevate your business today. Search eSpaces online to find your perfect fit.
And so he listens to it for 3 minutes with his eyes closed. And so again, I can't really tell how it's going. And when it's over, he stands up and he looks at me and he leans in and he goes, "Play that motherfucker again."
I was at the dinner table and I've got, this beautiful ribeye sitting here and some other sides and they're great. And I just I'm just staring at the ribeye and I look at Lana and she's kind of laughing. Her sister had drank some with me.
Okay.
And she's over there giggling.
We all work our whole life to polish our craft and be the best that we can be so that when your moment comes, you're prepared for it, right? And I was like, why can I not get a fucking break? You know what I mean? Why is my moment not coming?
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
All right, with that, from the Patriot Mobile Studios, powered by eSpaces, this is the Try That in a Small Town podcast. Thrash, Kalo, TK. I'm Kurt, and tonight it's going to be fun. We got a friend. I know. We've been wanting to have him on for a while. Birge, give it up. Let's go.
Hey, what took so long, though? What took so long?
Well, he's famous.
He does he's got some stuff going on.
He's busy.
I know, but what took so long?
I tell you what took so long.
What?
Is one of the things we love most about him. This guy, not only killer artist, killer singer, killer writer, works his ass off. He's touring. Right. He works.
We're out on the road, man.
He works. I love it.
But came in here and instantly felt at home. We got the cowskin.
You like that?
You
like that?
Here.
I still got scars.
I saw,
Very Texas.
When you roll out a cowhide instead of a red carpet for me, I know that you mean business, and I was fired up about that. So thank you.
Neil did staple it, I think you said.
I did.
He did.
I did. I cut it and stapled it and tried to make it fit as best as I could. And I think it turned out great.
You did great.
I didn't kill the cow, but
it's the first cow tablecloth I have seen.
Really?
To say, yeah. You usually see them on the floor on the road. We keep one on the road. That's that's my carpet on stage under the microphone. I'm always standing on the cowhide, just similar to this one every night. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's the first one I've seen on a table. Yeah.
You feel right at home
That's
right here.
right.
Get up on this thing.
Right.
Kick your boots off, son.
We're drinking that tequila during today, and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Man, you're on fire. You're on fire. You got what? 4 number ones in a row?
Fingers crossed, about to have our 4th in a row here. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
That's it.
That's
man.
a streak.
That's a streak.
It's crazy, man. To be honest with you, there was a while where I thought I'd never have one. This shit is hard, right? It's hard, and everybody's first answer is no in Nashville. Every door you knock on, every buyer, every label, everything is. There's a million reasons to say no, and basically all of us country artists are fighting for 20 or 30 spots out there, and you get to Nashville and everybody was the best in their hometown, and you kind of wake up and you're like, oh shit, this is going to be a little harder than I thought. But it was kind of a game of attrition, and it was right on the nose at 10 years for me. The 10-year town thing was right when I had my first number one. And I think once you get that first one, it gets a little bit easier, just like the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, maybe this does work. Maybe, he does have some more songs people want to hear. And with everyone, it seems to, knock on wood, have gotten a little easier and a little faster up the charts. But, you talk to any artist, even talking to Luke Bryan, who's been an awesome mentor to me, all those guys, it's never easy, right? Like a hit song is a thing that you covet, and that what everybody, whether you have 50 or 0, that we're all chasing, but they're special when they come. Yeah,
every song is like that. It never stops, and like you said, it does. You're kind of building a relationship with radio for one, and then the listeners for others. So yeah, it does. I don't want to say it gets easier, but at least you have that base, with the radio programmers that are kind of helping you. They know who you are. And then, of course, the listeners now are familiar with you, and they want to hear more. So You mentioned Luke. Let's go ahead and plug that whole thing that's going on right now with Luke.
Oh my gosh. Just the, friendliest guy ever. After we had our first 2 hits, he invited me out on tour because I had a little bit of buzz going. And, you go out with some headliners and you never meet them the whole tour. And then there's some guys that, want to get to know you, do a little research before you get out there and are a little more friendly. And Luke was that guy, right? He was invite me on the bus after shows and we'd be shooting the shit. And one night after a show, I was up on his bus and we were kind of drinking tequila, picking guitar and stuff. And he was telling me the story about his first big artist to believe in him and take him on tour was Chesney. And that was like, the coolest moment for him. He hadn't had any hits yet, and Chesney's bringing him out, and that was like his welcome to the dance. And he said one night after a show, he was headed back to his bus, and Chesney pulled him aside. He's like, man, you're not riding the bus tonight. You're riding back home on the jet with us, which he was like, my first private jet, coolest shit ever, right? And so he was so fired up, and then he said when they got on the plane, this was back in the CD days, he had just finished his first record, and Chesney was like, well, man, I want to hear it. And he said Chesney put the CD in the Walkman, put his headphones on, and listened to the entire album on the flight home and didn't say a word to him, just listened in silence on the flight home. Luke said it was the most nervous he's ever been. So I'm sitting here, I'm drinking my tequila, I'm listening to the story, I'm like, fuck, this is cool. I'm like, Luke Bryan is telling me this story right now. I'm hearing all the origin and everything. And then he looks at me and he's like, now I want to make you feel the same way. He said, plug your phone in and play me a song I never heard before. And I went from like relaxing to like my heart beating out of my chest, right? But I had written this song that I had a pretty good feeling that he would sound amazing on. I wrote it with Tyler Hubbard, who's a great friend, unbelievable songwriter. And basically the story of the song is it's a cowboy that's new to the dance. It's kind of going through a rough patch, getting some advice from somebody that's been there before, telling him, you got to stick with it. Life's going to throw you off. You got to saddle up anyways. And that was kind of me and Luke's dynamic. I'm new, I'm learning, I'm, out here playing amphitheaters and watching him every night and figuring out how to entertain the crowd and learning how to have my first hits or whatever. And the whole story of this song was like his and I dynamic. And so he listens to it for 3 minutes with his eyes closed. And again, I can't really tell how it's going. And when it's over, he stands up and he looks at me and he leans in and he goes, play that motherfucker again.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So we ended up listening to it 4 times in a row, and that was when I knew he probably was into it. I texted him the next morning, and he was all in on the song. And top 10 right now, hopefully on its way to the top of the charts. But was a complete game changer for me, and it shows like once you kind of get in, country music really is a big happy family, and we take care of each other. And I'm starting to have that opportunity now of like bringing openers out myself and bringing them up on stage to sing songs with us during the set and giving them a chance to come up on the bus and play guitar and just talk life and maybe see if I can guide them around a couple of the bear traps that I fell in early in my career. But country music is cool in the sense that it is hard as hell to break through with your first hit, but once you're there, the longevity of the careers in this genre is like nothing else, right? Pop, you're going to get there, you're going to have 2 or 3 hits, and then you're probably gone. And you look at a Jason Aldean or a Luke Bryan or a Tim McGraw or a Keith Urban, and it's like once you have endeared yourself to the fans, and once they want to know so much more than your music. They want to know about your family, and they want to know about your life story and how you got there. And then there's this relationship that's deeper than just a fan relationship. It's almost like they're your support system and your friends, and they're bought into more than the music, right? And then you have these careers that last 20, 30, 40 years, which is unheard of in any other genre, and I think that's what makes it really special. Yeah.
Well, speaking of hits, we have to say it while it's fresh. Kurt and Tully are part of the #1 Jason Aldean this week. Right now, currently, number one
George,
in the
we'd
nation.
like to make this about us.
I text Tully yesterday or 2 days ago when I saw it, and I was like, man, congrats. Because that, I mean,
Well, it wasn't expected. It went in on its own.
That was the best kind.
So yeah,
that doesn't
It's never
either,
too
right?
early.
yeah,
No.
It's never because I tell you, Texas said, yeah, it went in early. We weren't expecting. I says it's never too early.
And for
That's just
people that
great.
wonder what that means, by the way, the label, they kind of set up these things. They know how fast a song is going, so they kind of chart what week they think it'll go #1, how they'll push for it, doing extra interviews, extra whatever you need to do
Syndication,
to
all
help
that
the
stuff,
push.
yeah.
So they have a targeted date in mind, which for that song is still
2 weeks.
a week or 2 away. So when we said it went in early, it just had that much steam that it went in.
That means you'll get your check 2 weeks early in the mailbox.
I don't know if that's what it means.
You know what goes great
with small town stories.
Original Glory, America's beer right here.
You know, I've been drinking this every songwriting session today.
Man, that clean, crisp taste reminds me of summer nights on the back porch after a fresh mowed lawn.
And they're just not making great beer. They're investing in America's small towns.
Well, it's just like us. They believe in bringing communities together.
Not only do they invest in communities, but a portion of each sale goes to the veterans and the first responders and all the heroes that protect us.
For a limited time, you can become a member of the OG fam and invest in this beer at wefunder.com/original brands.
Join our Original Glory family and help ignite that Original Glory spirit.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded. Of course. I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
But you said something, George, and this is the magic sauce, I think, really. I always say that you kind of remind of us and Aldean. It took a while for us. I mean, we met in '98, and it didn't happen really on a big scale till, we made the first record in 04, 05, right? And then even after that, we hit bumps, But I think that's the magic, though, it not being easy. And I think that's the problem with some of the new artists, is that maybe it happens too easy, and it's blessing when it does. But there's a magic to having to grind and never. I know even for us, every number one any of us get, we're like, it could be the last one. We better keep working hard.
Yeah.
So I think as an artist too, it's like when you get a couple number ones in a row, you don't want it to end. Don't want it to end, so you work and you work and you work. So I think it being a grind, as much as it sucks in the middle of the grind, it makes you look at everything a little differently.
It's so true, man.
At least that's what it feels like.
And I think like you're saying, that getting that first one, it's not that, I don't know if it's easier, but it gives you more of a belief that it can happen.
Yeah.
Because you've witnessed it personally happen. So when you're writing and stuff, you can say, hey, this can happen, boys, let's do it.
And there's a certain confidence that comes with that too, right? In who you are as an artist, and being fearless in what you're saying and the music you're making, because you believe that it can work. If you don't believe it, nobody else is going to. I remember I'm from Austin, Texas, and I idolized Eli Young Band coming up because they were the first guys I saw make it on a national level out of Texas, right? I hadn't really seen anybody since the George Strait days make it on that kind of level out of Texas. Not that Eli Young Band was as big as George Strait, but it was the first band that I'd seen break in that magnitude. That was kind of my era. And I think I was 21 or 22, and I got invited to open a show for them. And so play the show, it goes great. Get to meet the guys, and Mike Eli invites me up on the bus, and we're talking, and it's going great. And he looks at me and he's like, man, he's like, you sing great. He's like, the show was great. Love the songs. He's like, you just need to go get your ass kicked. He's like, you need to go out on the road, and he's like, you need to lose a bar fight. You need to get your face rubbed in the gutter, and you need to hear no a couple of times, and you're going to be ready. And I remember hating him at the time for saying that. I was like, dude, what do you know? I was like, I'm ready right now. I was like, what do you know?
I know. We all think we're ready now.
Exactly.
We all like, what do you know?
And he couldn't have been more right, man. It's like, you got to live to be able to tell stories. Like, you got to have your heart broke to sing about heartbreak. You got to go through some adversity to have that shine through in your lyrics. And so I moved to town, and, I got a record deal early out of the gates and failed on a couple songs, and, chased what was hot, and, tried wearing skinny jeans and slicking my hair back and making songs that didn't feel like me. And it just didn't work. And then when I kind of got a little bit more honest with my sound, and when I got a little bit more fearless of like, hey, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to fail, I'm at least fail being who I am. And when I had a little bit more life to sing about, and I'd gone and spent 400 nights in motels and played to nobody and stuff, it was like, when I'm singing about hurting it hurts, and when I'm singing about love and heartbreak, I've been there, and that's when it started working, and it was honest, and it started connecting, and we started having hits, because I think country fans more than anybody, their BS detector is on 10,
they can see
right?
through it.
Like, if you're
Absolutely.
pretending, if you're faking, if you haven't been there, you don't have a story to tell, man.
100%.
Yeah.
No posers.
Man, and you said it, and we've talked about this a lot, and I think it was Gary LeBox that was on. He said this, and he said it really well. It was like, until you fail, you don't know how to really succeed. And it was like, God, you're right. And we all have lived that, and we're talking about it now. But, yeah, you don't know what to do unless you've been in a bar where there's 10 people in there all booing you and say you suck.
You know what I mean?
Dance floor empties out.
Yeah.
You've written songs that don't get cut or whatever. But it's true with sports. It's true with anything, really. But, for us, that thing is music.
I'll never forget. I finally saved up $10,000 to buy my first Sprinter van that was like, I think it had 400,000 miles on it, and you could see the through the rusted floorboard, you could see the road and part of it. And I just talked a guitar player into going full time with me, so I had one band member, and we were going acoustic to open for, I want to say it was Scotty McCreery or something at the time, and we had a show in Kentucky, and the second we crossed the Kentucky state line, alternator goes out on the Sprinter, right? First run in it, right? And we just pull into the holler and just nowhereville. And I mean, the closest mechanic we could find, we get there. And I mean, this guy comes out and he's got 3 teeth and his eyes are facing the other side of the room. And we're like, man, we're in it, right? And so I was like, man, my alternator went out. I was hoping you could fix it. And he's like, well, let me pull it up on YouTube. And then he goes inside and he comes back out. He's like, well, shit, I just got fired for being.
No.
Yeah. So he got fired in the time he went inside.
What do you do inside?
Well, he's on meth, like without a question. Was like meth out of his mind. But he was like, and then he's like, here's the good news is like, we ain't got to pay those guys. He's like, I'll change it here in the parking lot if you can show me where the alternator is. I was like, well, buddy, if I have to show you where the alternator is, I'm probably not going to let you change it.
I think it's under this hood.
Yeah. There was a lot of like character building out there on the road that the first night I got on a tour bus, I literally kissed the floor on the tour bus. And was
what year was all this?
This would have been probably 21 was when that was like, I was going from buying the Sprinter, and then I had the Sprinter for about 8 months, and we just like cooked in it, and then went to the tour bus probably beginning of 22. And then before that, it was, just driving my own car, driving a rental U-Haul or whatever. A lot of times we drive our own car and rent a U-Haul trailer. And the problem with the U-Haul trailers is the sliding ones. When you drive too fast on the highway, all your gear gets stuck on the sliding one. So then you're in the parking lot and you're slamming on the brakes, trying to get the gear to come off of the trailer so that you can open it.
Brings back memories.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You said something that I'm sure you're excited about, and as you said, you're about to have your 4th number 1.
Yeah.
Man, what a feeling, right? When you're building that set list now.
Oh my god,
dude! What a feeling! Now you got 4. And you can stagger them out. I remember playing, we talked about it a little bit the other day when you're playing clubs and you're playing 90 minutes in a club and you got one song that they might know.
One. Yeah.
We used to bookend our show with that song, man. Like we're playing Hicktown at the front and we're playing at the back, and the last one is 18 minutes long. It was 18 minutes long. But you start getting a couple other hits, and what a freedom.
It is the biggest blessing to because you're fighting for attention the whole time. And it's like, if you're known for one song, great. But then it's also like when you got 80 minutes of, unfamiliar music, like you're battling up there, which is also good for you, man.
You do your hits. Then what do you do?
Yeah, I mean,
are you doing covers? Or
we
doing
do.
your
And
record?
I was so coming out of Austin. That was one of the best things that town ever did for me. Is there's not a lot of cover bands in Austin. We were all garage bands, and we would go sit in each other's driveways in high school, and we'd play each other's songs we wrote, and we'd have these little podunk concerts, and it was like very supportive, and it was such a creative town of like our songs sucked, but we were going to play them for each other, and we were going to try to get better, right? And so I was always like anti-cover, and so I moved to town, and I probably faulted on the other side of that. I was like, I don't care if I only make 4 fans tonight. The 4 fans I make are going to be real fans because I'm playing my songs. And then I started realizing, well, you mix in some covers, you get people having a good time, then they're going to give your other songs a more fair listen. And so then we started moving in some more covers, and now we just have 2 little cover medley blocks where I mix in 6 of my favorite 90s country songs that cover about 10 minutes of real estate, just to give them a verse and a chorus of each to kind of scratch the itch, and then we do that twice in the set. And
it's good though, 'cause
yeah,
you want to, like we did the same thing. Like we would do a couple Dwight Yoakam songs,
mm-hmm.
and maybe in Alabama we had an Alabama medley we worked up, and then we had worked up one point like Sweet Child of Mine, our version of that, and mixed in with Paradise City, because we figured out it's like, okay, well, we were opening. Even when we started opening, we would do that because our job was to like provide that excitement, provide that good time. So we figured out like, okay, we don't want to play covers either, but it's kind of a cheat code when you're trying to get through your new album.
Yeah.
You know, I remember playing Amarillo Sky. Literally, people just flipping us off. Like, what is this?
Well,
song,
and you're thinking about it, like you said, you're playing 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Well, your album worth of material is 50 minutes, 60. So, okay, what are you gonna do with the extra 40 minutes?
Drum solo.
You have to figure something. Well, we did that.
We did it all. band intros, drum solos, 18-minute
But yeah, so you
versions.
kind of. I don't want to say you have to, but it does help the set.
Yeah, it does
help the cause.
and you know how you present songs is how they're digested too, right? Like people do, they listen with their eyes. They listen to, are you having a good time up there? Is there some familiarity? And
100%.
you know, it was one of those, like when we started the Luke Bryan tour, It Won't Be Long, which was my last hit, super heartfelt. It is a ballad, right? It's a slow song. Those are always tough, especially when you go play them in an amphitheater as a newer artist, right? But I was so damn proud of every line of that song. I mean, we wrote that sucker to the nails. And if you give it a fair listen, it'll put chills on your arm. But it's a ballad, and you have to give it that fair listen. I remember the first show we played on the Luke Bryan tour, it was completely unfamiliar. And we played it, and you could have, not one person in the whole place was listening, right? They were anywhere else but then listening to the song. And I'm like, shit, is this not a hit song? I was like, is this not the song that I thought it was? Because, I mean, they would have rather been anywhere else than listening to a ballad in there. And then we kind of started mixing in some covers, getting some attention. Oh, George Birge puts on a hell of a show because he's got us up out of the seats dancing to these, you know, to these familiar country rock songs that we love or whatever. And then we would mix it in after that. And then we started getting a listen because now they're like, oh, we're having a great time at the show. We love these songs. They're listening more intently. At the same time, it's climbing up the country chart. By the end of it, you know, 6 months later on tour, it's a top 10 song, fixing to go number one. We've got people holding up signs, It Won't Be Long, people crying in the crowd, people telling us how they got married to it, how they're having babies to it, how it's changed their lives. And it just shows you, like, it's all in how you present a song. It's like you have to show somebody how to listen to a song. And a set has to flow to where that ballad lands in the right place. And you have to earn the respect of the listener. And sometimes that's playing familiar music.
That's what you do. That's what you did at the concert. You earned their respect, and when they got home in another environment, they started checking all your stuff out.
That took me a long time to learn.
When they could hear it and digesting, wow, this guy's really good.
Well, plus at the point of your career now, you know, you're doing everything. Okay, you're opening for, you know, Luke, but then you're also playing some of your own headline shows, playing some clubs. So it's also like different night to night. Like you might be playing a club where everybody's totally engaged.
Yes.
And that goes over different than when you're playing at 8:20 and at a shed amphitheater. Sun's still out.
Yes.
People are coming in. It doesn't mean it's not connecting. It's the timing of it. Okay. You know, versus if you're playing, you know, at Coyote Joe's and you got 2,000 people in there dialed in. So it's never ever like changing scope of shows.
It really is an art form, and what you were talking about, like earning your reps, it's like learning how to do that too, right? Like we have so many people that come and are instantly set on tour because their music's going viral at the time that have never played a live show before, and unfortunately I've seen so many crash out from, like, you got to learn how to do that, right? Like you got to learn how to read your audience, learn what the show you have to put on that night is. Is it your diehard fans that know your deep cuts and that are going to sing every word to you, or like do you have to Toby Keith, biggest artist, you know, I ever opened for. Toby took me on tour, and I learned so much from Toby early on my career. He took me on tour before I was ready to go on tour, and I was green as all get out, but I sat and I watched every night. And Toby's had more hits than just about anybody, and if he saw the crowd wasn't feeling it, he would turn it into a honky-tonk cover set in 2 seconds and just start having fun. And he was a human jukebox, and he didn't care. He was there to make you have a good time, and there was no ego in it. And it was like, he also had a respect for the music that came before him, and he could play you any song you wanted to hear on acoustic guitar, and he knew the lyrics to whether it was a Brooks and Dunn song or the Sugar Hill Gang. Like Toby was going to play you something cool, you know? And I think there's something to that too on the cover side of, like, you don't want to be a Broadway cover band where it's like, you know, you're covering a song that went number 1 2 or 3 years ago in your live set right now as an artist in the same genre. There's something to a left-footed cover that they might not have expected. Like you guys doing rock and roll covers early on, you know what I mean? Doing, Sweet Child of Mine or whatever. It's like people might not have expected to go see that at a country show, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, hell yeah, this is a really cool twist on that song. It's like, how do you make art out of it and make it fun?
Well, and also make it genuine to you. And sorry to interrupt, but like those songs that we did, first of all, Jason had a really deep connection with, and we kind of did them our own way. We didn't try to be a cover band with them. We did it how we would do it. Like, so when you're doing a cover, you're paying respect to the original way it was done, but it's still George Birge doing it, which makes it hit a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. It's always going to have a little bit of your own flavor on it. Yeah. Speaking of Toby, I have a pretty cool Toby story I figure I'll tell since I'm on here with you guys.
We're huge fans.
So this was, like I said, pre any hits for me. We were road dogging it, and Toby gave us an offer to come out and open for him, which was amazing. Not a lot of money, super early in the night, but we're on tour and we're learning from one of the best to ever do it. You don't say no to that. So we're out there, and this would have probably been 2017, Virginia Beach. We're the first to kick off the show, and Toby, as I'm walking on stage, walks by me. He's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "Meet me by the bus tonight. We gonna party." I was like, it was his birthday. I was like, hell yeah. Right? And so we finished playing and come off stage, and Toby had set up a little tailgate area outside his bus. I go sit by the tailgate area, and I see this guy in cut-off blue jean shorts, cornrows, and a grill walking up. And I'm pretty isolated to the country and southern rock world. I got, into I love all music, but I'm not like super familiar with stuff. And so my agent's like tapping me on the shoulder as this guy's walking over. He's like, "Hey man, you know who that is?" I was like, "No." He's like, "That's Post Malone." And I was like, "Who's Post Malone?" Right? I think he had just put out White Iverson at the time, was the one song he had out at the time. But he comes over and starts talking to us, and he's like, "Man, I'm a huge Toby Keith fan, and I'm a huge country music fan, and we're playing in Virginia Beach tonight too, and we carved out early to come see this show," which I thought was cool. Like early I knew Post had a respect for country music, right? So me and Post are shooting the shit. We're drinking beer outside the bus. Toby finishes, walks over to the bus with us. He's got a trail of guys behind him that look badass. I don't know who they are either. And he was like, "Boys, I want to introduce y'all to SEAL Team 6. And I was like, "Come on, man." Yes. And so we go on the bus, and it was me, Toby Keith, SEAL Team 6, and Post Malone. And we went through about 2 handles of whiskey and passed the guitar around till about 2 o'clock in the morning, smoking cigars. And Post Malone was covering Merle Haggard, George Strait, everything under the sun. And you could see Toby was like trying to put him to the screws, because he's like, "Who's this kid coming to my show?" Toby wasn't really familiar with him at the time, and by the end of it, he like loved him, man. He was all in, and that was cool to kind of get the glimpse into that world. Now Post is a household country name too, right. But to know that like even he did it the right way. Like Post paid his respect to country, like came out, saw some of the greats, was like listening to country music before he dipped his toe into this world. And it's like, now he's being accepted by country fans, because like, if you're genuine about it, like if you really care about country music and you have a little respect of where it came from and want to be part of that family and community, move here, the country fans will accept you. Yeah, it's really cool.
And partying with SEALs, that's a whole nother.
Buddy, they can tie one on.
Learned early.
Were they singing? Did they pick and sing?
You should ask Rich Rebin next time you see him about what happens when you party with SEALs.
Don't go to sleep.
Don't go to sleep. So years ago, we were in a band called Rushel years ago. This was 02, 03, and it was in between trying to get Jason a deal, right? Yeah. And we were in this band over on Lyric Street, and we're out playing shows. And anyway, we had a Navy SEAL Team 6 guy come out and hang out with us, and Rich passed out in the front lounge and woke up with one less eyebrow, like the morning before a photo shoot. So that was interesting.
Those guys just are on another level. They don't sleep. They've always got a little wild in their eye. They know the exit. They know they'll cut loose a little bit, but they're
the best guys on the planet. But partying with those guys is a different situation.
They're superhumans.
It's a different situation. Yeah, I mean it's
Did they pick and sing too?
They didn't play guitar, but they would sing all right. Yeah, they would howl at the moon. Yeah, they had a great time.
It's a blessing I didn't make it as an artist. It is a blessing.
If you wouldn't have busted through as an artist, do you think you would have, let's assume that didn't happen, okay? It obviously has in a big way. would you have stayed in town just to be a hit songwriter?
You
would
know,
you have done that?
There was
because your writing's definitely good enough to do that. For sure.
There was a world where I thought that was the path that I was going to take. Trying to think of how the best way to get into this story. So Clay Walker was the first big artist to believe in me and start cutting my songs. This would have been 2019, 2020.
After the duo?
I'd asked out of the record deal on my duo thing. It just wasn't working.
Kelly, y'all missed that. You always wanted a duo to produce, and you missed it.
I know, but I thought about it the way here. I'm like, God, a duo. I want it so bad. I want a duo.
It's too late for George.
We had been A&R'd to death. I had forgotten who I was as an artist. I was so like fixated on what was working at the time and trying to mold myself into that. I had lost the identity that made me special in the first place, right? And so it was a horrible place to be, and I ended up just asking out of my deal, and I had decided I was going to be a songwriter.
Okay.
And so Clay, I'll never forget this. COVID hits. Clay Walker invites me to his beach house in Galveston, Texas, to write for his record, which was like, I was thrilled, man. That's my big shot to go do some stuff. And he's like, but, with Clay has MS, which is pretty well documented. He's like, I'd rather you not fly just with COVID, everything. I'll send the bus to pick you up and drive you down to Texas. I'm like, hell yeah, man, let's go. I'm going to take Clay Walker's bus to Texas by myself. Sit in the back and watch movies and drink whiskey. It's going to be great, right? Well, the bus that picked me up was Clay's band bus from like 1992 with like shag carpets.
We've seen that trick
VHS.
before.
There was a crew bus.
Yeah, holes in there, which is fine. I'm no prima donna. I'd have been fine in it. But then the driver was like a late 70s overweight man. He's like, yeah, my son is Clay's full-time driver. He's like, I actually, I have my CDL, but I've never driven buses before. And he's like, well, we're going to be
Just
great.
lost my job.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, big old boy.
Nice smooth ride.
Yeah, way past his prime. And the number one rule as a bus driver is you don't want to eat a huge meal before you drive because you're driving all night. You don't want to fall asleep, right? And so this was when the Popeyes spicy chicken sandwiches were real were real popular. We get an hour into this drive. It's probably 11 o'clock at night or whatever. He pulls over to a gas station, Popeyes, and he gets, I'll never forget this, he gets 2 spicy chicken sandwiches, those giant suckers, and then he got 2 5-hour energies. And so I was like, this guy's either going to fall asleep or have a heart attack. One of the two things is going to happen on this drive to Texas, right? And so I'm sitting in the back, I'm sweating bullets, and we get, 5 or 6 down the road, and I'm praying in my bunk, God, please just help me make it to Texas, right? And sure enough, I just hear, you're just hitting rumble strips every 5 minutes, right?
It's a terrible feeling.
And I was like, well, if I'm going down, I might as well just go in the front and talk to this guy, right? Because I'm surely not sleeping back here. So then I'm up here, I'm sitting shotgun and just talking to him, and he starts driving. He starts telling me stories and looking at me while he's telling stories and not the road. So, right, he's like, did I ever tell you when I drove for Jefferson Airplane? So I was like, all right, I'm more of a distraction in the shotgun seat.
My God.
We blew out the entire right side of the bus on the rumble strips in Dallas. Spent about 6 hours getting that fixed, and then I finally made it to Clay's house. And I said, I'm flying home, motherfucker. All that to say, Clay did end up singling 2 of the songs that we wrote together on that retreat. Yeah. One was called Catching Up with an Old Memory, and one was called We All Need a Bar Sometimes. They were his last 2 top 40s, which was like...
it's funny because we played on that album.
I was going to say, did
oh, really?
On that
yeah.
one?
So I wrote We All Need a Bar Sometimes and Catching Up with an Old Memory.
Which is awesome.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Y'all killed that on that album.
Yeah, we went in there and... because Knox produced it.
Yes.
So we went into Treasure Isle where we cut all the Aldean stuff. It was like stepping back in time. But that's where we do everything. And that's Small World, yeah. But
Clay was fantastic. He was so nice.
Those 2 songs especially were really, really good.
So thank you, man. They ended up being his last 2 charting singles, which is really special for me as a fellow Texan and a guy that I idolized. And I thought y'all did such a great job of like bringing an iconic heritage country artist into a bit of a modern sound that was still true to himself. Like y'all's playing on that record was really cool.
I remember having a great time on that album, and I remember at the very end of it, because our first introduction to Clay wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, he's a tough old son of a gun.
2004, we're on the album comes out, Hicktown record, right? And we're playing clubs. So we're in Florida, and we're opening for Clay at a bar. I want to say Club Rodeo. It was one of those clubs,
Another one.
Anyway, we're in. This isn't Clay's fault, but it's like his crew. They literally like they left us like a foot of stage in this bar. I mean, we were a little we were a little out of hand anyway. But we got through it. But when we made this record with Clay, we had so much fun in the studio. Like we had a blast, like cutting every song. He was so positive, and it was like, as a player on that side of it, when you're a player in the session like that, the more positive feedback you're getting from the artist, the better you're going to play.
Yeah.
And the better the vibe is. It's just, that's with anything.
It's crazy how contagious that is in the studio. You know what I mean? When it feels like you're in the zone. When
the vibe's right. Yeah. Everything sounds better. Everything. So at the end of it, we cut a lot of songs in a very short amount of time. And I think it was this time of year. It was like July or August. I think it was July. And he wanted to do a Christmas song. And that's how we ended that.
Oh my God, I forgot about the Christmas song.
We did a Christmas song with about 700 chords in it, and we're, But I remember Tony Harrell, he's probably one of the most fantastic piano players in town, Tony Harrell. But thank God for him, because he was able to pen out this chart in about 10 minutes. This song had 500 chords in it. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But and Clay goes, remember he wanted it as a rock version of it. So now we're playing 500 chords at 500 beats a minute, Yeah. But Clay it was great.
500 chords, 4 on the floor, baby. Let's go.
It was a lot. But those two songs, it's funny. I remember both those songs, and Memory's killer too. That was killer. That might have been one of the first ones we cut. Actually.
Yeah.
So
that was special for me. Yeah. And the other thing that was cool about that is, I'm such a big proponent of things work out like they're supposed to. And if you are just irrationally optimistic and kind of speaking into its existence, it will eventually happen, right? I was in town for 10 years. I'd been chasing it. I'd had a failed duo. I'd had a couple failed singles in the duo. And, it was just like it wasn't working, and there weren't really any signs of it working. Yeah. And this Clay thing happened, and I wasn't going to quit. I was out there, right? If I can't be an artist, I'm going to be a songwriter. I love country music. I am going to work in country music one way or another.
Sorry, I totally interrupted you, but while you're on Clay, before we get off there, I found it interesting. Isn't he the one that told you to release Beer Truck on TikTok?
Exactly.
Which TikTok, interestingly enough to me, you think it's younger, but I mean, Clay will be 55 in August, right? Yeah. So it was interesting that he suggested, hey, get on TikTok.
It was that turn of fate that I was looking for, and it's like you never know when that's right. We all work our whole life to like polish our craft and be the best that we can be, so that when your moment comes, you're prepared for it, right? And I was like, why can I not get a fucking break? You know what I mean? Like, why is my moment not coming? And Clay was like, he sat me down at the end of the trip. He's like, buddy, you're too good to just be a songwriter, which was like the most incredible compliment and gave me a lot of confidence that I didn't really have at the time. He was like, you got to get your songs out there. You got to give the artist thing another shot as a solo artist. And I'm sitting here just soaking it up as he's saying that. And then he's like, you got to put your songs on TikTok. And I was like, well, that's where you lost me. But that night I was like, what the hell, right? What do I have to lose at this point? And so I created a TikTok account. And I swear to you, the first video I saw, I clicked the country music hashtag because that's what I like. And there's this girl, and she's making fun of country music. And she's like, when I hear country music, it just sounds like beer, truck, girls in tight jeans. And I was like, oh, man. And I've never done this. I've never done it since. I have no idea what came over me, but I was like, I'm going to write a song with that, and I'm going to post it, and I'm going to show her that I could even take that and make it a hit song. So I spent an hour and a half foot of the bed, thumbing away, record myself doing it, and I post it. And I was like, you mean something like this? And I played it. And wake up the next morning, it had like 3 million views.
Oh my God.
Literally. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, that's amazing. It's like it's crazy how you turn that into a song. And she ends up responding saying that, she used to love country music, but had gotten away from it, and that this made her fall in love with country music again. And it was like a cool unity thing. So I ended up writing the rest of the song, and I credit her as a songwriter, and I put it out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
What a
it did-
dude. What a guy.
It
Wow.
was
That's
awesome,
awesome,
dude.
two-way
amazing.
right.
No,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And it ended up,
Well, she gave him, first half of the chorus.
You're my favorite new artist right now.
So that gets me on the Bobby Bones show, this viral moment, right? And so then I go on the Bobby Bones show, and I play Beer Beer Truck Truck, and I tell the story of like how all this happened and how I was working with Clay and like how, life has a funny way of working out sometimes. We finish our segment, and Bobby turns off the mic, and he's like, "Hey man, I never do this, but he's like, I'm having fun talking to you. Do you want to stay for a second segment?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, man." I was like, "Yeah, I'll stay." And so we do the second segment, and he's like, "Well, George, do you have any other songs you want to play for us?" And I had just written Mind on You, and hadn't even recorded it yet, but I was like, man, I think Mind on You's a hit. And so I was like, I do have another song that I'd like to play for you guys. And I played Mind on You on the Bobby Bones show, went super viral, got me a record deal, ended up releasing it as a debut single, and it went to #1 and started all this, man.
Well, give
Man.
people
Yeah.
the
Golly,
rest of
that's
the
amazing.
story, as they say, as Paul Harvey. Mind on You. First of all, you wrote that with some great friends of ours.
Yes.
Colt Ford, Jaron Boyer, Michael Tyler.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Old Boyer.
We love all
Boyer,
those
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
But that song, I assume, probably Boyer and Michael Tyler pitched it to Aldean, right?
So I tell people all the time how good of a dude Aldean is, because he had Mind on You on hold, ready to cut. And we called after it went crazy on the Bobby Bones show, and we're like, called Knox, and we're like, "Hey man, is there any chance that I could have this song back? I think it's gonna be a first single, and I think it's gonna have a chance to like change my life, record deal, radio single, everything." And Aldean was like, "Dude, have it, go run with it. I know how special a chance like this is." And there are so many stories in Nashville of artists not doing that. I won't name names, but I mean, probably 5 or 6 stories where I've heard where the big artist tells the younger guy, "Screw off, it's my song now." And Jason gave it right back to me and said, "Go get him, buddy." That's awesome. Just shows you like the kind of class that guy has, man. Yeah. And it changed my life.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
Well, some of that reason I think when we came up, it was different. It was a little tougher. It was like, it was supportive, but not always like it is now. I feel like people are way more supportive now. I mean, we had guys like McGraw that were really good to us, and Urban took us out, but it was tough sledding to get through when we came up. And so I think Jason remembers those times when maybe it wasn't something happened that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you learn from that, even up to the touring. Like when people come on tour with us, like, when we were on tour opening for people, we got half the lights, dB limit on the sound. We had the white tape, can't cross the white tape, So when people come out with us, it's like, dude, this is your stage,
I won't tell you who the artist is, but there was an artist that I brought in for
George.
early in my career that was like my best friend when we started, and we ended up having a #1 midway through that tour, and we became competition. We became competition, and it went from being like great friend to like ice cold. You got 3 minutes for sound check, and you're doing a line check. You're not sound checking. You're not walking on the catwalk. Like it was actually crazy. Like
old school.
It's like we're gonna make your life so hard. And I was on the golf course with Darius Rucker a couple weeks ago, and I was telling him this story because he has a similar story of one of the first guys that took him out, and he was like, "Man, if I'm scared of my opener, that's a me problem."
Yeah.
He's like, "That I don't have
100%
enough
right.
confidence in who I am in my own set if I'm scared of you opening for me."
Yeah.
And I felt that was like, man, that's how you know you're a real artist. That's how you know you're a real badass. When you're winning, you're doing it right, and you're taking care of your people, and you want nothing but the best for everybody around you too.
We've had everybody open for us. From Luke, Florida Georgia Line, Morgan, Luke Combs, everybody has opened for us. And not once did Aldean ever say, "You're restricted on anything." Man, it helps everybody. And like you said, he wasn't afraid. We're not afraid. I mean, they're killing it, but that's good.
We know what we do. I mean, there's no shortage of confidence.
Yeah.
If you're really doing it right.
Well, there's a reason the amphitheater sold out too. You know what I mean? Like,
I always thought that was weird too. I remember, I won't name names of the act. They're friends of ours that put the screws to us. But they're not really them, but the management, and with the white tape, they don't cross the white tape. Like, I mean, telling a bunch of guys living on Crown Royal, that are on the road 300 days a year, don't cross the white tape. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's brown now after I stomped on it with my boots. Yeah,
but what's funny.
I was going to ask you, because talking about Aldean and Mind on You, I didn't know that Aldean had that on hold. But when I hear cowboy songs, she only dances cowboy songs, that makes me think like if you weren't recording that, because that sounded like an Aldean song to me also. That would have been like, if y'all hear that, wouldn't you have heard that as an Aldean song?
It's a great song.
Easily one of my biggest influences, like
and
not
just
close.
What it says, it's just a tough lyric,
So my Mount Rushmore is probably Aldean, Gary Allan, George Strait, and Tracy Lawrence would be like my four biggest influences. Yeah.
All hard workers.
Gary and Jason were that like dark smoke edge. That's where that thank you guys for letting me rip you off and make some money from it. But that's like, that is where it's like, that's, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, I'm trying to just be a new version of you. Gary's one of my best friends. We play golf together all the time.
That's
but
a very good.
Two fearless artists, man.
I love Gary, man.
Gary is a badass. I mean, people, some of these young artists, like, they want to be outlaws. They think they're outlaws. I think they're tough. Gary Allan is a tough, cool dude.
He is, man. And you feel it when he sings it. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, do you feel it?
Yeah.
Do you believe it coming out of the artist's mouth? And
he's a good dude.
It's
Sounds
rare.
Cool as hell.
And his records back then were so different, right? Like, it was strings and it was bells and it was, baritone guitars and flamenco guitar and just like wild shit, but it was all still like kind of rooted in that country, and it didn't sound like anybody else, man. That Smoke Rings in the Dark stuff, just it was awesome. Yeah.
I remember going out to write with him one time does he still live on Old Hickory Lake?
Yeah, he does.
I walked in that house and there was somebody else was going to write with us, but I don't remember who it was, but they weren't ready to write. I got there, man. It's like I walked into a ZZ Top concert. It was freaking.
Oh yeah.
It was a cloud.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
I'm
what
telling
comes
you,
with the territory.
Dude, I'm like, and they were ready to go skiing or something. I mean, they had the boat gassed
Gary's
up.
house is unbelievable, dude. On a peninsula out there on the lake, it's like unbelievable. But I learned that lesson the hard way. He has a like tackle box, right? Like he opens that thing up and it starts just like shining, like And I'm not a huge weed smoker, but this was again early. Gary took me out on one of my first tours, and it's how we ended up becoming really, really great friends. But I was opening small arenas for him, solo acoustic, right? Which is terrifying because you don't have anybody to lean on, right? Like if you hit a bum note, like that's you, man. And so Gary has me on the bus earlier, and he's like, you want a hit of this? And I was like, well, I don't smoke a ton of weed, but it's Gary Allan, hell yeah. So it's 2:00 in the afternoon, and I take a hit of this weed. I was stoned for 3 days after that. Oh my God. And I remember trying to literally watching where my fingers were going on the guitar.
I drove home going like 40 miles an hour all the way home, just from the contact. I didn't even smoke it. It was just
I don't know
from
how
the
he
house.
does it. I'm a terrible weed smoker. I wish I was better at it. I'm awful.
Yeah.
Playing a fair with Gary, probably 06, 5, 6, 7.
Early.
Playing fair, and Gary's like, we played early, and my son's still out. And he's like, come up to the bus. So I go up to the bus, and he goes, come to the back. So okay, I go to the back. And he's got this the volcano thing set up in the back. Now keep in mind,
you have the apparatus.
Yeah,
out,
no,
right?
this is a giant volcano.
This is not a hobby. Yeah.
No. He goes, yeah, just hit this, and I did it. And usually, like I said, I'm awful weed smoker. I just never feel anything. When I do, it sucks. I hit this volcano thing. 2 minutes later, dude, I'm in the back of the bus, and I remember looking. You were up there with me, right? Trying to hold me.
I was no chaperone.
Best friend duties. Yeah.
So I'm looking at from the back lounge all the way to the front of the bus, and it looks like a football field long. Yeah. I'm like, I've got to make it. My legs are numb. So I make it to the front lounge, and I sit down in the front lounge, and Gary's sitting over here. And I just remember there's this huge plate of pineapple, like from catering or something, giant. And I ate every piece of pineapple in this thing, just stuff in my face. And my legs wouldn't move. I could barely get off the bus. Like, it took me, I felt like it was hours. It was probably an hour total, but it felt like 2 days I was up there. I was not myself for a while after that.
Yeah.
I couldn't have had a more similar experience.
I don't know how they do
I
it.
thought for sure I was not going to make the show.
How do they do it? How do they operate like that?
I don't
dude?
know how they do it. I don't know how they do
I
it.
guess their tolerance maybe that they don't get.
And Gary's out there, wardrobe changes and like guitar playing and
I know,
like slinging. I was like, what?
Performing, and I'm like, my legs are numb. I'm elevating.
I'm literally army crawling out of the bus.
Oh God! Oh God!
I don't know how they do it.
Just leave me here. Y'all go.
I'm hit.
I mean, it took me just to get up and walk to the front lounge. It took everything I had to build up the courage to get my legs moving. That's how messed up
I'm sure
was.
that pineapple tasted so good. Though.
That's funny.
That's some of the
that's what I
best
remember.
pineapple you've ever had.
And the front lounge is full of people. It's like radio people up there, and we're all up there, and everybody's up there, and I'm just like shoveling this pineapple in my face, man.
They
And I'm
come
like,
up there, they're like, Tully, those are actually pencils, man.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, don't try Willie's remedy.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
So have you
do
tried it?
Yeah.
I heard good things, actually.
Give it. What
Yeah,
happened?
it's always that.
Is it a drink?
It's all-
It's a drink.
hey,
Yeah.
only eat half of this gummy,
Right,
and you'll
right.
have the best sleep of your life. I've got tricked with that
What
too.
happened, Neil?
It's always it's fantastic. You have to.
Well, what happened?
Because based on the text, it kind of
was-
made me want to try it because it seemed like
You
it was,
you should. I had some Anejo before I did it.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's
Yeah.
a problem.
But then
blame Willie.
You probably shouldn't.
What's it taste like? Are there
It
different
tastes really
flavors?
good. It's actually
is there
really
one flavor?
really no. It's really
What's
good.
it called? What's the flavor called?
I don't know. It's Willie's Remedy.
What's it taste like though?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Tastes great. I don't know what to tell you.
Let's
It's got a
feel
little
it.
coconut kind of flavor to
Oh,
it.
yum.
What
And it's
happened
good. It's THC infused, and
Yeah.
it's like if you overdo it,
What happened
So-
to you?
ooh wee. Oh,
Not too long back, Colt Ford, one of my best friends, had just gone through like a pretty nasty divorce. He's having a tough go, and my wife and kids were out of town, and he was in Nashville. And I was like, buddy, just come stay the night at the house, man. We'll cook steaks, we'll drink some wine, just have a good old boys' night or whatever. And he had some of Willie's stuff. And he goes into my pantry and he goes, "Damn it, boy!" He goes, "This is what a house that a woman lives in looks like." He's like, "Look at all these snacks."
Yeah, that's kids.
Man, we had a great night or whatever. I send Colt to bed in the guest bedroom. I go to bed in my bedroom. About 3:30 in the morning, I wake up to what sounds like a raccoon like rummaging through the trash, right? And I go out there, and it's Colt Ford in his whitey tighties in just a pile of goldfish and Oreos and like
Pirate's booty all over the place.
Whole trash can.
That's amazing.
it may be a good thing for you to trade in.
Uncrustables.
That's amazing.
Seriously, you should try it. You don't overdo it, but you should try it just to knock the edge
Well,
off.
maybe we should try it
Yeah, I don't
during the
know, maybe.
podcast.
And it's
Yeah, we'll do
quite.
that.
What's the worst that could happen?
I mean,
Right.
I don't, but I mean,
We could do an episode
Try
like
it
that.
live. Hell yeah.
he just wanted me. I just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the dinner table, and I've got this beautiful ribeye sitting here, and some other sides, and they're great. And I'm just sitting here staring at it. I'm just staring at the ribeye, and I look at Lana, and she's kind of laughing. Her sister had drank some with me.
Okay.
And she's over there giggling because she's conditioned. She smoked pot back in the day.
She's good.
Yeah, and I just got up from the table and just went back to the bedroom and sat down in a chair, and I fell asleep there for 4 hours. Or
I bet
something
that was a
while they
good
were-
nap.
And it kind of was.
Yeah.
But not really. Because
How much tequila did you have prior to
Not
Willie's?
enough to matter. But
Okay.
but if you mix, just knocking the edge off with that kind of high,
Just enough.
because they don't mess around. I mean, this is not just a drink to. Hey, just to chill. No, it'll freaking make you go
mean,
numb.
Most
Willie's,
of the time,
so-
that's
You go
a-
numb.
That's
Where
a
do you
drink
get it at?
alternative.
Any
instead
liquor
of-
store
it
sells it
anywhere.
now. Liquor stores sell it.
So you can buy the weed in a can, but you can't.
Yeah,
smoke
exactly.
It. What's
Yeah.
the difference?
There is no difference.
But it is a drink alternative generally. That's what it's, especially a lot of the younger people.
Yeah.
They're
There's
not
no.
drinking
Apparently,
it at
there's no
all.
hangover or something.
Yeah.
And just
heard
but
that before,
it's
too.
like a.
We've got a dialed on the road, man. It's tequila and water, or tequila and LaCroix. You do that, and you're golden, man.
Low
A couple of
calorie.
those nights.
You'll be good hanging
yeah.
out with us in Aldean because there's the tequila consumption has gone up 700% the last 3 years for some reason. It is And actually, I'm on it now. Like I'm just developed this taste for straight tequila.
It's crazy. Once you get in, because I was a whiskey guy forever, and then, man, the hangovers start getting a little worse, and you get a little belly on you, and you're like, man, what am I going to do, right?
He wasn't looking at you,
You
Neil.
switch tequila, man, it's like good energy, no hangover in the morning, then it
Good
starts
tequila,
tasting
though.
good. Yeah, good tequila. Yeah, good tequila.
Like Aldean mixed for me, but I like it just with a lime.
Yep.
And just, for some reason, it's like my go-to recently.
When some of
I don't know
these
what's
sheds
going
we
on.
play, man, it gets hot out there in the summer. You know what I mean? When you're out there under
yeah,
the
dude.
lights, it's 100 degrees outside, and you're just sweating. Whiskey tastes rough on stage.
Don't say it. Don't you talk bad about the whiskey.
I love whiskey,
crazy.
but when it's 100 degrees and you're jumping around out there, a whiskey's an after show on the bus, man. When you're on stage, that tequila's just right, man.
Whiskey in
yeah.
the summertime don't work.
Yeah, oof.
It's not good.
Yeah.
I've tried it playing golf.
It's a winter drink.
Thinking I can sip on whiskey in the summertime.
Neil.
Out playing golf.
I think you got a rival here on the golf. You played golf in college,
I
didn't
did,
you?
but everybody I talk to says Neil Thrasher is a stick.
Well,
That's
he
what
is.
everybody
Oh, he is.
says. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I've probably heard that 20 times. Yeah.
Lord.
Everybody asks me if I've played with you.
Oh,
yeah.
don't act.
He can
You
play.
don't know that.
Yeah.
He can play.
Everybody knows
Go
it.
on.
You know that everyone knows
But
it.
George, you keep up. I mean, you still play.
Yeah, I still play. I still like my odds against just about anybody in town. But it's not as much as I used to. It is fun having, this new chapter of success, starting to get invited to. I got invited to play Augusta this year. I got to play, the course where they play the Masters for the first time. That was wild. I got to play in
What'd you shoot?
I shot 75.
That's really good.
Yeah,
That's great.
I know everybody
On the
says this,
front?
but I left a lot out there because I was a little nervous about the back
Absolutely.
9. I got it going, and then on 16 I hit it in the water with chasing a pin. But I'm really looking forward to another shot out there.
75. That's
Yeah.
legit,
Yeah.
bro.
Like
Yes.
bull.
It's
Yeah.
getting it.
But I got to play in the BMW Celebrity Pro-Am. That was cool. Played with Canelo Alvarez and King Griffey Jr. and all
that's
these guys.
amazing.
Kind of just, you're like, what the hell am I doing here? But it's cool. That's what country music opens the doors for you. I won it, which was also crazy.
Awesome.
So I don't know. Golf and country go hand in hand. Every
Big
country
time.
singer wants
Yeah.
to be a pro golfer, and every pro golfer wants to be a country singer, and it's made for a lot of cool relationships. And I mean, shit, John Daly is the biggest country fan in the world, and I can't tell you how many nights I spent playing guitar with him. I made the mistake of inviting John on stage for a show one time, and he played a 27-minute rendition of "Knocking on Heaven's Door."
Oh my God.
I've heard that about him.
I love him to death, but good
I have
lord,
heard
you know
that.
those sheep's hooks? You gotta just
So funny.
Wow.
Where's the gong?
John can actually sing. He's got a little bit of character to his voice, and he's a good old boy. I love him to death. But it's amazing the cool stuff that country music has kind of opened up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to go play sometime.
I would love
Oh, I
that.
want to
Yes.
watch.
I would love
Yeah,
that.
No,
too.
you have to play too.
I'll carry the
I
bag.
can't play with you guys shooting a 75 in Augusta.
Yeah, but it could help.
Just watch and learn.
George could really help our team against Neil.
I do give pretty good lessons. Yeah, I do give pretty good
I actually
lessons.
do need a lesson.
I
so
got
bad.
you. Easy on that.
I don't know. I might be beyond help.
Nah.
It's really bad. It's
We get you
it's
dialed
a
in no
travesty.
time. We get you
Sorry.
dialed in no time.
Be careful, George.
It's not
I've
good,
told
buddy.
people I'll get you dialed in no time before. I'm like,
I didn't mean that. Yeah.
maybe not.
All right, we should see if George wants to join in our weekly segment.
No.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun.
Okay, so we have DipShidiots. It's idiots of the week. Neil likes to say, "Who raised y'all's ass?" Whatever. It's people that annoy you, do stupid stuff. What's some of the ones we've done? People talk on speakerphone in public, standing up, clapping when the plane ends.
I saw mine. I saw one of mine on the way here today.
What was an old one?
Let's
of
just
yours?
start there.
No, I want to ask the question.
Oh, okay.
What's with the ducks on the dash?
I hadn't seen that.
I don't even know what
Jeeps?
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the what is that?
What I understand,
Do you,
is
Jim, you don't have ducks on your dash, right? No. Thank you. Okay, you do.
You keep a collection of ducks as a Jeep owner, and if you see another Jeep owner, you give them a duck.
It's only
Yeah.
the Jeeps.
Well, why?
I have no idea.
Is it kind of like
man.
those little baby
weird.
Jesus things? Like you give them a duck, you give them a Jesus. Is it kind of like
We all
that
need a little
bit?
Jesus. Yeah.
We did.
I mean, I'm not saying a few ducks. I mean, there's
No,
ducks.
they're lined up.
I mean, you
Yeah.
could cause a wreck.
Yeah, that's.
But do
been
they
going on for
trade
a while.
ducks? Like if they're trading?
They're rubber
Yes.
ducks. They're
Rubber
little
ducks.
yellow rubber
Why?
ducks.
Yeah, and they're all like little duck characters too.
It's a high school thing. It's a high school.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That seems Very strange.
Seemed like there'd be a lot of germs on the passing the ducks back and forth. That's a different topic.
Anyway, let's get to the DipShidiots. Kalo.
Those are my dipshit.
Oh, that is it.
Yeah,
That's
I
yours?
agree
That's
with
where it
you.
started?
I mean,
ducks
I've
on the
never
guy's
seen
joint.
it. Seems stupid.
I don't get it either.
Okay. Yeah, I don't get it either.
They're doing it's high school thing.
Yeah.
Mine is on the personal level, and I've had witnessed it. If you're listening to this podcast instead of viewing it, I'm in a sling. I've been in a sling for a little over 4 or 5 weeks now, and which would tell you there's something wrong with my upper body. It's probably arm, shoulder, something like that. But it's up top, you know. So, but people invariably they have a real hard time. Not everyone, but somebody that I'm fairly close with actually they can't stop from touching your shoulder, your arm, because they assume maybe it's just his arm because the arm's in a sling, but it's also attached to your shoulder. But they always talk about, oh, is it really hurting? And then they'll softly graze your shoulder, which you're kind of backing away from. I'm like, why would you? Don't touch it. Don't touch. You know, or they'll hug you and they'll throw instead of throwing the other arm around to here, they're still hugging this part. You know, and I'm like, you see? He said, oh, it's good to see you too. Okay, bye. It just seems like they would know. Just don't. If you see somebody
You're
in a sling
irresistible, buddy. I
or
think
a
that's what it
cast or
is.
something, well,
I
thank
think
you,
that's
George.
what it
That's, I
is,
mean,
yeah.
I'll take that positive spin.
Honestly, I had trouble myself. when I walked into
You know what? I'm going to
Yeah.
retract mine.
You
Then.
just
I
wanna
retract
touch
it.
it,
I
maybe.
retract it.
You okay?
Go tell.
That's what it is.
It's okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I have so many of these,
I know. Got a bag of
and
them.
I don't know where to go. I'm torn tonight. Tonight I'm going to pivot. I'm going to do a little spin on our usual segment. To
A spin.
Just not so much because I have plenty of you're an idiot DipShidiot stuff, but tonight I'm going to go to like, do you think I'm a DipShidiot? So here's
Is this
what
a
happened.
poll? Do we need to?
Just not a poll, but just like the person. They're just you'll figure it out. But
Okay.
so it's been hot, very hot, 100 degrees in the south, hot. So twice a year, our HVAC people come out and they test the units to make sure that everything's okay. Okay. Well,
How
they
many
come
units
out-
do you have?
Two. So
Okay.
they come out.
Just checking square footage.
It's just modest square footage, but it's important because it's hot. So, anyway, they come out, check the unit, and I leave town on the road. Everything's great. It's cool in the house. They leave. Wife calls. Upstairs unit's not working anymore.
Oh, that's the worst.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. That's what I say. And of course, my wife's like, "Oh, it's just stuff happens." I'm like,
You mean the day
Stuff
after the
happens.
guy checks it?
you know what happened here, right? I mean, obviously, probably didn't, but it's a wild coincidence.
It's a wild
It's
coincidence. Yeah.
I left town for Calgary. It's cool upstairs. Wheels up. Stop working. So anyway, they come today. And, of course, I'm, like, waiting for them to show up this morning. And I'm already teed up. I got this all teed up. I'm not paying a nickel. Don't even try.
No, you.
He comes in, and I can already, I mean, he goes up and looks, and then we're waiting, and it's 85 degrees upstairs, and he's like, comes down, and he goes, well, not great news. I said, get out.
Is this
Really?
the same guy that was there?
No, different guy.
But same company.
Same company,
Yeah.
different guy who's been over there before. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, the compressor's gone. It is an older unit, but it was working fine until whatever they did for the checkup.
Too coincidental.
Till they saw the gold records on the wall.
Too coincidental. And now I got to buy a whole new unit. Of course, because he says now it's a lot of money just to fix it. A new one will cost you this. I said it was working fine. And of course, my wife, my poor wife, someone could hit her over the head, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yep. I have one of those.
Yeah, it's that. It drives me nuts. It's like, do you not see what's happening here? I told her that in front of the guy. Do you see this? No, I did. I said, do you see what they're doing? And then, of course, the guy's like, no, we've had it happen before. It's bad timing. Where people think we did it on purpose. I'm like,
They've had it happen before.
It's a wild. I looked up my. I said, oh, this is a wild coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Wheels up. I leave town. AC goes down. Anyway, now I got to buy a whole new unit. Do you think I'm a dipshidiot? That's what I wanted to say to the guy.
The question
Do you
here is
think-
like, do you bite the bullet and buy the new unit?
Oh,
or,
yeah, I'm buying the new unit, yeah.
Or do we go down with the ship?
No. Well, no, it is.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, it is an older unit,
How
but it was
old?
working.
Like 15 years, 20
Yeah, it's
years?
14.
Okay.
You know, but
I
Jim,
don't know.
don't shake your head like
Yeah.
you know
We
what
don't
you're
need
talking
any
about.
comments from over here.
You don't need any
I'm with
comments
you.
from either.
Way too coincidental.
Old unit, but working great. Wheels up to Calgary, hot in the house.
Yeah.
Hot, not working. And then I get home and my wife's like, yeah, it's a little warm. It's 90 degrees in my office. What happened to the AC?
Oh.
I mean, I don't know why. Anyway.
Okay.
No, I don't think you're a dipshit.
No,
I mean, I can see why.
no.
you
No, you're missing my phrase. It was like, I'm asking the guy from the company,
Yeah.
do you think I'm an idiot?
Oh,
Oh, you think you're asking
Do you
him?
think I'm an idiot?
Kind of rhetorical.
Rhetorical.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. Rhetorical. He comes down the stairs. Oh, I knew this, but oh boy, got some not great news. I'm like,
Yeah, no shit.
get out.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
After you just did your checkup
I
yesterday.
thought
Yeah.
That's
when
what
you
I
said
told
get
him.
out the first time, I thought you were telling me to get out of the house. I was like,
That's what I thought.
I told the guy, I said, this is a little too coincidental for me. And of course, my wife, she gets very, very uncomfortable with any kind of conversation. And
yeah.
I'm going at him like, you broke it. Do you see what's going on here?
it was
Anyway.
going to happen anyway. Felt good to buy a new unit, though, right?
No.
Man, you're going to be a terrible old man. You know, when you get
Yeah.
old,
Yeah.
man, those guys are good. The service guys are going to.
You did the math. I mean,
over there.
But
You
is
were-
it,
you were
it's like
creeping
when
up on it.
When you break the cabinet in your friend's house and you kind of like put it right back to where then when they open it, it falls. Look what you did!
Well, I knew he was going to say something stupid like, it's the compressor. Of course it's the compressor. It's always a compressor.
Yeah.
It is
One thing
unfortunate
you
timing.
can't just fix.
It's unfortunate
easily.
timing.
Yeah, yeah, it's just blowing hot air. No shit. It's 92 degrees upstairs.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's a tough one.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a tough
good
one.
So it's a little twist on the usual segment.
It's a worthy story, though.
Okay.
Yeah, very
I've got a
expensive.
twist.
Go ahead.
Okay.
This one took an unfortunate turn for me, I guess. Now, actually, it's not even a thing, but I thought I had a good one. Turns out I didn't. Here's the deal. It bugs the shit out of me when people use words the wrong way. For years, people say literally, like, this guy's tall. Oh, my God, this guy's literally 10 feet tall. No, he's not literally 10 feet tall. But you're saying he is. Whatever. Oh, I literally died laughing at that story. No, you didn't actually die laughing. That really bugs me.
I can see that.
When you
bugging
use the word literally to say that, because it's supposed to mean a factual thing.
Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, the dictionaries have now included the exaggerated version of literal to mean you're kind of exaggerating a point.
How does that sit with you?
I freaking hate it. So I guess
an
I'm the
educated
idiot.
man.
I've been so annoyed at people that use the word literally as an exaggeration when it's supposed to mean a factual thing.
Yeah,
I get that.
But
I'd
now
say
the
a lot of
dictionaries,
people
because
use it.
so many people have done it,
I know.
maybe they're the dipshidiots, actually, the dictionary people.
Yeah, words
Yeah.
matter.
So now words do matter, but apparently they don't, because when you use them wrong for so long,
Yeah.
now the dictionary says, yeah, it's an exaggerated term too.
Do you guys remember?
Okay.
I hate it.
Do you guys
I
remember
love it.
hoisting the actual dictionary on your lap when you were a kid?
Dude.
Just the things that you're looking through the. I mean, kids have no idea how easy they
And it
are.
had the thumbnail where you could, it's like
Yeah.
ABCs and all that. Say,
Yeah.
that's fun.
You got you one over,
That
Joe.
literally drives me nuts.
What's your latest dipshit?
I think I'm gonna include myself and the fan equally on this. So fans these days write something on their phone and they hold it up, and they will just wear you
Yeah.
out
The whole
until
set,
you
yeah.
look
The
at it,
whole
right?
set.
And then you can't even
Yes.
really look at that part of the crowd
Yes.
because they're just
Sticks in me.
right. And so I got this girl doing it, and I'm trying to ignore, and we're 5 songs in, and she's jumping, like about to throw the phone in my face. So finally, I'm like, all right, next song, I'll go read what she says. So I'm going over to that part of the stage, and I'm singing my verse, and I'm trying to read the phone, And turns out I can't read and sing at the same time because my words.
You start singing what she's written.
I just lost it. I just
Ron
lost
Burgundy.
it, right? And then I'm reading it. It's like, can I have your hat? And I was like, no, you can't have my hat. And I can't remember the words to the damn song.
That's a good one. That's great.
So yeah, it's a tie between me and her.
But you
awesome.
don't want him to stop doing that, right?
No, but
It is annoying.
put it on a damn
gotta be- I
sign
know.
or
Well,
something.
It's
That
annoying.
cell phone.
And they actually
yeah.
do a couple. Love the fans.
Yes, of course.
Love the fans.
Stop.
No,
you
we
don't
do.
have to set
But
it up
But
with
it's
that.
but sometimes you can't believe what they do. Like you're playing, and they want a fist pump.
Oh
Or
yeah.
they want a handshake while you're playing.
Yeah.
People ask for a pick all the time. I'm playing.
I'm playing guitar
I'm doing a
and
solo.
singing,
Well,
and they're holding a Sharpie out like sign. It's like, what do you? I got both hands full and a microphone.
It makes you wonder what they're thinking.
Yes.
You see, I'm working here.
But also, I will say,
You got to give them some grace.
There
They've been
are-
drinking.
True. And I've seen me do way dumber when I'm drinking also. But there are also like the diehard fans that will defend you from the knucklehead fans too.
Yeah.
That'll be like, hey, like, he can't do it right now. He'll get you on the way by or whatever. They'll kind of like give them the how to be a fan 101, which is we're very thankful for those fans too. Yeah.
All kinds of
fans.
All
We're thankful
fans.
for
We love
all.
fans.
We love
if you
the
bought
fans.
a damn as
You
long
love
as you're not getting in a
OnlyFans?
fight or pushing a girl around at a show, we're glad you're there, man. You can act a fool, but it's my own fault because I couldn't remember the damn lyrics of the song I was trying to read. Yeah.
You can relate to this. This is an epidemic. We talked about this on the show 20 times easily. An epidemic these days, or I think it's from social media, where the fan feels almost too close to the artist. So they feel like they know them better than they actually do, and they just start yelling stuff, yelling songs in the middle of the show, yelling what they want to hear, and you're like, "We're gonna get to it."
Oh yeah.
Or we're not. It depends. Depends on your actions. No.
Did y'all see the other day there was a woman just shouting Bob Seger at Garth Brooks?
What?
Just shouting.
Oh.
Yeah. And he goes, ma'am, this is a well-oiled, start to finish show that we've rehearsed hundreds of times. We can't just audible, and you can see him moving the capo on the guitar in the middle of the set to play whatever you went working on. And he just went straight into it. I was like, that was actually badass, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a pro.
Yeah.
He's a pro.
Yeah.
Well, so are you watching any World Cup stuff?
I'm not. I should be. We've been running hard. I need to get into it here for the end. I've seen some of the highlights. Following some of the superheroes out there. But no, I'm not as dialed in as I should be.
I watch a little bit, but it's kind of gotten interesting. And I know Neil's not watching it, but the U.S. plays tonight. Of course, the listeners won't hear this for a couple weeks. But anyway. That y'all heard about Trump making the call, and because there was a bad call, you get a red card, means you can't play the next game, right? So, but it looked incidental when they put it in slow motion to everybody. It wasn't purposeful, and he's the leading scorer, on the U.S. team, and they're playing. Who are they playing tonight? Belgium. Yeah. Anyway, so he made a call, and now the whole. Especially the left is in an uproar. You've tainted the game. But anyway, it's thought.
I think the LeBron James disease has infected soccer.
What are you talking about?
They just this.
Well, that's always soccer's always been that.
Yeah.
It's always been that way, but it's like, really?
It's ridiculous.
Like the
It
flops
actually-
and stuff.
it's-
What happened with
They do it in
soccer
football,
actually
too.
infiltrated
Trying to
basketball.
sell it. They're getting worse. They need to find better actors to play soccer.
That's always been like that. They've always been very dramatic. Very dramatic.
Oh, speaking of your soccer rant, James Slater, great songwriter, great guy. Anyway, he had texted me and said, "Hey, by the way, love the podcast," and he goes, and also tell Thrasher, like during his rant, and he goes, no disrespect, he goes, but they were playing one of the World Cup games in Atlanta, so it is in the South.
Oh, God.
So it's just kind of.
I wasn't even talking about professional soccer players.
But he said in your rant, but it was kind of a funny rant. But anyway, shout out to James Slater.
We love James.
Yeah.
We got to get George some of our coffee, the Peacemaker coffee, and just for the listeners and viewers too, go to peacemaker.com,
Yes.
of course, and get
I'm a
you some of that.
huge
Try
coffee
that
guy.
Okay,
I'm
you
fired
like
up about
whole
this, guys.
bean, you want ground, you want K-cups. What do you want? We got it all.
What's your go-to?
What did Randy Travis say? When you buy your coffee beans already ground, man. I'm a better class of loser. If you can grind them for me before put them in there, man.
I like it. Well, we'll get you some of that.
If you're a coffee snob like we are,
it's good coffee.
I can't wait.
You will love
I can't wait.
We'll get you some for the bus.
All right, I would love some.
You are great, good for country music. So good for country music. Hard worker.
Yeah, you got
This is the kind of new artist I love seeing have success. Grind on the road. Great writer, great singer. You deserve everything coming your way.
Yeah.
Biggest fans, man.
good
Absolutely.
stuff.
Way to wrap
We
it up
all
because
are.
that's 100% true, and you
Yeah.
know, we all think that. We're all fans, dude. We all love you. For Neil Thrasher, for Kelly Loveless,
Oh wow, we're going.
Totally
official.
Kennedy,
Kelly
Official?
Lovelace.
Kurt Allison from the Patriot Mobile Studios, powered by eSpaces. We thank Mr. George Birge for being here. Try that
Such
Small
an
Town
honor,
Podcast.
guys, man. Y'all are the coolest. Thank you for having me in.
Thanks, brother.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.